Okay, so I'm just testing to see how the audio is working. Make sure I have everything set up. At least almost all the way correct. It should be pretty good. Okay, so I'm just testing to see how the audio is working. Set up. At least almost all the way correct. Okay, I'm just testing to see how the audio is, seeing if everything is good to go. Hello. Oh, man.
I want
I
to
want to
call
call
you
you
the real again.
again. Let me think.
What
was it?
How do you pronounce it? I don't know.
You're gonna have to remind me the real. How do I pronounce your name? I don't remember. It's been too long.
Echoing.
Okay, let me fix that.
I wonder.
Shesk.
That's
That's
right.
right.
All right. Let me. It's still echoing.
Is it still doing that?
What the deal is with that? Okay, let me try again. Is it still echoing?
It's pretty odd because I tried this before.
Okay, yeah.
It's good to check. So let me see if I can figure this out.
Why would it be echoing?
I tried this before.
Okay, yeah. It's good to check. So let me see if I can figure this out. Why would it? Okay, yeah. Why?
Let me think about it for a second.
Maybe.
Okay, testing again, seeing if it still happens. But the problem with this is it should only pick up my voice.
Is
Is
it
it still echoing?
Oh,
Man, why is this happening?
The surface shouldn't have any. Let me check though.
Huh. Okay. That should do it. Let me know now. I think that was it, but I don't know. Are we in business? Good now. Perfect. All right, give me just another second, and then we'll get started. Sorry about that. I did figure it out. Okay. Okay, great. So that's what it was then. So yeah, if at any point you can't hear me or it doesn't sound good, just let me know, and I will work to fix it. So today I'm feeling a little tired, so I had a long day of teaching, as is usual with these Fridays. So really, what I'm going to do today is, instead of teaching the whole time, next week we'll go back to, I'll teach a lesson or whatever, and then we'll talk about it. This week I want to know... So what kinds of lessons and courses should I make? So this is going to be our main discussion here, at least for the first few minutes, and then we'll talk about some different things I would like your input on concerning some courses that I am currently making, which is a rock and roll course. We'll talk about that in a minute. So like whether it's for free on YouTube or part of my lessons on the Web Academy, other than, just piano, music theory, improvisation, any of the things that already exist, what sorts of lessons do you want as part of the community? So I want to know that, because I obviously want to make the types of lessons that, people want to see. Yeah, you're very welcome. Arvind, if I am pronouncing that correctly. Oh, yeah. All right. Good call. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Thank you, Shesk. All right. So, back to the question. Now you can read it and see me and hear me at the same time. So what kinds of lessons and courses should I make? So anybody who's out there, I know Manny does want some jazz courses and things like that, and I haven't made any of those yet, so that would definitely be a good type of thing to do. So anything like that, if you can think of anything. So here comes Shesk. Hard blues, that's right, Manny. Jazz and hard blues. Mozart Turkish March. That's interesting. Let me write that. And then obviously I'm going to write Manny's idea, hard blues, and then I do see some others I've shared as well. So we'll get to those. Let's see. A lot of great ideas. Okay, Shesk has a really good one. If anybody's wondering who Shesk is, like I was, the real, as I used to call him. I still might call him that every so often. He has a lot of great things here. So let's see. I'm still gonna have to modify the setup a little bit. I'm looking a little too far to see everybody's comments. Let me mix that up. Rich is back in the house. Hello, Rich. Yeah, exactly. You're just in time. Okay, let's see. Popular, so like pop. Let me just write music genre. And I think that's really an area where I can go a lot more into. I've made a lot of videos, obviously, on just how to play the piano, like all the little things behind it, and as well as music theory and a little bit of songwriting as well. But I could do a whole lot more in musical genre, which is exactly what I'm working on now. So, pop. And actually, I do have a course on rock coming, so I do want to tell you about that in a few minutes, etc. Let's see. Oh, yeah. Okay, I already read that one about Fur Elise. You're welcome about the Fur Elise episode. Lesson, by the way. That was just something. I finally got the light up keys thing to work, and I've been trying. I figured it out a while ago, but it looked terrible. So I finally found a way to get it to work, and it works pretty well. So more of those coming, by the way. So if you want certain types of songs, like I have Mozart's Turkish March here, that's a great example because, there's probably a lot of people on the channel that would want to know that one. So if you're thinking of maybe any specific songs that you'd like me to do, doesn't mean I'll absolutely get to them, but it is good to have on my list because once I do more songs, I do want to know, okay, which ones are, very high in demand. So anything else that you would like to see? A lot of great things here with the musical genre. The hard blues, obviously. Jazz, obviously, I have to get to, but that falls into musical genre as well. Harry Potter theme, sure. That's actually a really good idea. I have to admit I'm not that into Harry Potter, but I'm glad you made that suggestion because a lot of other people are. So if you're watching this as a recording later on, which it will be posted, leave your suggestions in the comments. I would love to hear them so I can make the channel and the website the absolute best that they can. We have some more. Yo, JP is in the house as well. So hello, JP. I'm glad you have made it today, this evening. Oh, Rich, you found the Rocky Alone in the Ring. That's right. I had a little trouble finding that. And yep, if you get a part of the collection, which probably did cost you a pretty penny, I would imagine, sometimes you can get them for a pretty decent price, depending on what the movie or the topic is. Okay, deconstructing any of the songs based on keys and chords. This is also something that I'm kind of thinking a lot more about. This is a great example, or a great question. Not question, really response. That's what they are. Deconstructing, okay. So, yeah, I'll just write the way you said it. Deconstructing. Songs by probably chords are good to talk about, melodies, uses of rhythm, so certain genres have different rhythms that they do. So obviously if you're doing hard blues, for instance, you're usually talking about a set pattern of rhythms, although there is a lot of blending in between. As you will see in the coming months once I release some of these. Oh, my name? My name is Tim. So if you don't know that, that's totally fine. I don't mind. Quarter note triplets. Yeah, I do not have one of those. That's great. Some really great responses here. I didn't even think I would get this many, at least not this soon, into it. Shesk has a response. Yeah, it's Manny has it right. It's Tim. And no offense taken. So you almost have to try to offend me. If you catch me on a bad day, maybe you could, but so no offense. And Shesk says, how about must-have ones like Christmas songs? Yeah, I do have a Christmas song playlist. So if you go on like the main part of the channel, Lessons on the Web /user/lessons on the web, you can find a playlist of all the Christmas songs I've done. But yeah, I mean maybe any holiday. So just holiday, and not necessarily like winter holiday. Maybe like songs for 4th of July, or if there's other countries that celebrate, the other holidays other countries celebrate. I might want to do those as well, because those will obviously be in high demand certain times of year. So those are great suggestions. Some of my favorite piano playing techniques or practices. Oh man, the only problem with that one is how do I choose? But that's a good one. Favorite songs. Okay, /songs. Okay, so far we have Mozart's Turkish March at number 1. Number 2, we have Hard Blues /jazz, the genre. And then music genre in general, with pop, rock, things like that. Harry Potter theme, deconstructing songs by chords, melodies, rhythms. This is just in case some of it is cut off by my face. Quarter note triplets, that's a great one. Christmas songs, holiday songs, things like that. My favorite techniques, practices, or songs. That's a really good one. Let's see. I could maybe even make a top 5. That would be kind of strange to have a top 5 on a music education channel, but hey, why not? Arpeggio exercises. There's something that's really bothering me. Just give me 1 second. I don't know. I'm going to see if that's any better. Sorry, it was really bothering me that I was kind of like trying to keep above water there for a minute. There we go. Actually, I'm in frame a lot better now. Okay, some great questions that came in. Let's see. Arpeggios. Okay. So I do have a couple of videos about arpeggios on my website, lessonsontheweb.com. Of course, you don't have to head over there, but I will try to make one for the YouTube since I don't have anything about it on the YouTube, and the ones that like kind of go into it a little more depth, you can find over there as part of the Lessons on the Web Academy. But yeah, I'll make some arpeggios. Let's see. Ear training. Ear training's great. I need to get to ear training for sure. I made an introduction to ear training video that I haven't posted anywhere yet. Let's see what else we got. What is my opinion on generations? Music such as rap songs. Music is music. If you like listening to it, it's music. I'm certainly not a snob at saying, certain things are not music. even electronic music, I even enjoy to some degree. I like all forms of music almost. I'm not a big country guy, but I will listen to some. So yeah, I believe almost anything that you would want to listen to, no matter who it is, whether I agree with them or not, certainly music. So, music's music. All right, what does, let's see, any other questions or anything? Guilty pleasure in terms of music, probably, it's not even really a guilty pleasure, but probably Daft Punk. I really like their electronic music. I don't know, I really like old school hip hop groups, like Jurassic 5 is a good hip hop group. I'm not so big into like modern rap like Lil Wayne or anything like that, who's just ridiculous, but let's see. That's really all I have to say. I mean, I can't really think of anything that would be like too embarrassing, because everybody likes all kinds of music, so I don't think it's really anything to be embarrassed about, unless it's like, I don't know, like children's songs that you listen to in your car on your way to work. Maybe you wouldn't want to tell everybody that, but I don't know. That's not me. So I don't know. That's all I got. So lots of great tips here tonight. I keep saying that, but it is true. I really like this nice list of stuff and ideas that I have. Definitely, probably what you'll see first. Well, in terms of YouTube, I might do the Mozart Turkish March first. Because I can probably do that one within maybe an hour or so. The other ones would be like multi-part things, so that would be harder to do. And obviously, I would put like the real in-depth stuff is always on my website, but there are some things here that I would like to put like an introduction video or two up about it, or like the rhythm practice video series. If you haven't checked that out, there is a playlist in the channel, so go to the main Lessons on the Web YouTube channel page and click on playlists and check out my can't find the words, it's too late, rhythm practice sessions, which we do as a live stream. By the way, I need to find a set time to do those. Some of you have been lucky enough to just happen to pop in at the right time, and then some of us have been like, wow, the live stream then? I had no idea. But that's okay. Like Shesk, I think, was saying in a comment earlier about that. So I will come up with a schedule for those for you, and then they'll just become part of the regular thing. Do your fingers hurt when you slide up and down the piano? Because mine always hurt every time I try. Okay, so I don't have... I actually kind of do. Let me show you. I gotta set a thing or two up here. Okay, so I'm not going to set up the virtual keyboard since we don't really need it, because I'm just showing you this one thing. So when you slide, you're talking about Manny like that. The glissandos, which actually hurt my fingers right now. The key is to have your nails face whatever direction you're going. So if you're going, to the left, you want your nails to face the left. And why is that? Well, nails serve as a great shield against all those notes. Now, the one thing I did actually when I first did it and it hurt is you want to be like not completely vertical because you won't be able to glide too well, but you just want to be tilted forward just a little bit, and that will make sure that your fingers, your nails, are shielding you from most of the thing. If you lean in too far, if you too much of an angle, you actually, the cuticles or whatever those things are called, you'll be rubbing against those, and those are really painful. I actually had a student, there's the camera. I actually had a student when I went to college who split open his finger doing that. So be careful. Just make sure you got those fingernails shielding you, and you should be good to go. Let's see what else we have. Are you able to play 30-second notes? Isn't that ridiculously fast? Yes. You'd have to count it really slow because you would need 8 notes for every quarter note. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Those are technically 30-second notes because there are 8 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, I need to work on my scale a little bit. Although it would help if I was back a little further. So, in a way, yes. I mean, obviously, if it's a slower section, I can play them. If I practice that section enough, I can even play it at higher speeds. But that's where the metronome comes in, because you want to start, very slow. And as you can see, as you divide those up, subdivide them into smaller beats, it gets harder and harder to play. So yes, it would take a lot of practice, but I could do them. I haven't played any songs with them in a while because a lot of them are like Mozart sonatas, or Beethoven sonatas, sorry, and things like that. Okay, I have a question for everybody else. So I am in the process of making a rock, like a piano rock course. It's going to be like a piano / music theory course, so you'll have to know a bit of music theory because that really helps explain the whole thing. So I really want to know from you, this is the second part of it, is what songs or artists would you like me to cover in this rock, this rock course? So I just started it like yesterday, so I'm still gathering some ideas. I have like AC/DC. I love AC/DC, by the way, in case anybody's wondering or cares. And then I have The Who, and then I have something else. I don't remember exactly what it was. Maybe the Beatles, although they're like really early, almost pop as well. But obviously there's lots of good Beatles songs to talk about in that course. Although, like I said, that could be like a little bit into a pop course as well. What else does anybody have? What are your favorite rock groups, everybody? So you're always asking me what my favorite stuff is. What are your favorite rock groups, and what artists should I cover when I do this course? Oh, great. Who inspired me? All my teachers before. I had a teacher, Mr. Armstrong, I had until I went to college, and then Dr. Craig taught me after that. Talked a little bit about that before, but, in terms of teachers, that's who inspires me. And like I said, if you know me, I teach, like, all the time now. I mean, I actually practiced this week, things I wanted to practice a little bit, although most of it was actually stuff for the website. So like I said, when I practice these days, a lot of it is on the teaching side, so I can better teach these songs to you and to people everywhere. So a lot of practice that I do is for others. At this point in time, I would like to kind of get back into practicing for myself a little bit. But that's who inspires me, more teachers than performers. Yes, Bohemian Rhapsody is good. That's a good, awesome idea. It's going to abbreviate it. Bohemian R. I'll know what it is. Okay, let's see. Rich's favorite rock groups, Nirvana. Alright, like I said, it doesn't necessarily mean all of these will be included, but it is definitely good to know because, yeah, like Nirvana is a huge band. Korn, Queen. I didn't even think about Queen, which is ridiculous. And then obviously I can make this course like 1 million units long because obviously there's a ton of stuff. Oh, excuse me. So some great responses, and then so a preview if you're watching this, whether you're here right now or you are watching this later. A preview of this course is you can expect like obviously talking about these songs, what makes these songs, what are the melodies involved, chord progressions, rhythms. And chord progressions is going to be a big one in this course. Like I said, it's going to be like a combination of a piano and a music theory course because you really need those two things to understand these. Now, you won't have to take all my piano theory courses to understand it, but at least the first few to get that. So that's generally what the course is going to be about. And we're just going to go through these really awesome artists and see, what makes their music tick. Why may it have been a great song? And how we can reproduce that. I haven't added songwriting into the course yet. Like I said, I just started. I'm writing up the curriculum right now, the first few PowerPoints, things like that. So, the skeleton of the course is just being built. So it will change a little bit beyond this, but generally the things I'm talking about will be included since, that's generally what you do with a genre piano music theory course. It's funny. Everybody's saying bless you, and it was like already a few minutes ago, especially since there's like a couple minutes lag, and I was like, why is everybody saying that? But I remember now. Let's see. Everybody is so kind. Thank you, by the way. Go over staccatos, finger, wrists, and arm. Okay. Sure. Actually, let me write that down because I want to make a video about it, but I'll show you right now. All right. Okay, so here we are back at the piano again. Staccato. So I'm going to try to play it like a little bit higher up than you would play it. Obviously, you'd play it like towards the tip of the keys where I have it now, but you can't see because it goes off screen right away is how my hand pops up, and more importantly, where it's popping up from. Fortunately, I don't have the best camera angle for this. So actually, what would be great is like a thing like, over to the side, 90 degrees from me, but I don't have that yet. But someday I'll have every camera angle down. Even like a foot pedal one, but I don't have that. So anyway, you can't have everything you want. Anyway, so the thing about this is that it's a lot of the sound when you play piano, and this is something that I can probably do a better job of demonstrating my videos, and the technique videos are a great idea for this. And the thing is that when you're making sound on the piano, whether it's soft or loud, it's a lot to do with, like, a lot of people say it's in the wrists or whatever, and I think they talk about that with different things. It's not necessarily on the wrist. There is a little bit of wrist action when you play piano, but a lot of it is right where your forearm, if you can see it, meets your upper part of the arm, like your bicep. So right there. And a lot of it is is it fulcrum or leverage? Something like that. It's been a while since I've taken physics. But anyway, a lot of it is in there. So when you're thinking about playing piano, don't think about so much in like just, controlling your fingers. Now that is important. Obviously you do. Obviously you do need to, think about where your fingers are moving. But a lot of it is right at that point I talked about. So what you want to do is for these staccatos is you just want to pick one note or maybe a chord or something really easy. And what you want to do is you want to try just bouncing up and off of it, but not like with your wrist. So you don't want to be like this. So I'm just kind of showing you as an exaggerated. Oh, that hurt my wrist already. So it's really like you can't see it. Like I said, I wish I had a camera, but a lot of it is this the motion in between the arm. So just practice that, just hitting a C major chord, and boom, like coming up off of it, and really feeling, you know, where it's moving in your arm, rather than all in the wrist or all in the fingers. Like I said, there's a little bit of that going on, but mostly at that point. So that's really how you get the best staccato, is that you're moving up and down at that point. The elbow, that's what that's called. Do I pluck the key or I press it? Well, plucking a key would be interesting, because plucking would be like, I guess you can pluck a thing. I am not plucking. Like I said, I might have a tiny amount of movement in my finger, but it's really not plucking. It's really like an up kind of thing. Now, I'm over-exaggerating a little bit, but so it's really just like a quick press up and off, or down and up, down and up, down and up, down and up. Plucking would be like mostly with your fingers, so plucking would be like, which makes a decent staccato actually, but if I'm doing it fast, I can do it a lot better with the way I talked about, rather than plucking them is a little bit sloppier. In fact, it's a lot sloppier. So, yeah, not so much of a pluck, but more of a, like, lift. Okay, chord progressions. Yep, chord progressions are definitely a part of the course. I should probably make even more videos on just chord progressions, which is a good idea. Okay, wow, 35 minutes into it already, so we'll hang out for a little bit, you know, see if I can get some more feedback from you, or, you know, answer some questions. But like I said, no main lesson for today, other than, you know, I just want to know what you think and what kinds of lessons you would like to see. So again, if you're seeing this as a recording, leave your questions down in the comments. I'd love to hear them. You could, of course, follow me on Facebook, facebook.com/lessons on the web. By the way, if there's anybody in the chat right now who is not part of my Facebook, please join. I mean, you don't have to, but I do put like little updates on there, and then the articles from my website are posted there. So if you want like a nice list of the content that comes out, and then I also do post links to the videos, and my assistant does help me out with the YouTube or the Facebook page. So, you know, head over there, because that's where you can really find a streamlined version of where all this content is coming out, at least most of it, if you're interested. All right, any other questions or anything? I think we had a really good, you know, back and forth today, like usual. Of course, I really like hanging out with all of you, so really glad to have you as part of the channel and as part of these live streams. You know, you really make it worth it, because if I was out there talking to nobody, if I've gone this far, you know, maybe this is for the second month doing this or so, I probably would have given up, because nobody would have listened. But it's great to have, you know, even if it's a small group, and it is growing, it's really great to see people come back like I see. So I just want to say that I'm really glad you're part of the channel, and I look forward to many more interactions. Yeah, Shesk. So all of the like song tutorial videos, like say I make Mozart Turkish March, I will definitely do all of those with the light up keys from now on. So you may still see some older videos posted around the channel that do not have that, because obviously I just was able to do it. where it looked good and worked really well. So yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Rich, thank you for that. I'm not sure which chord progression video was it. I mean, I know I've probably made a bunch of them. Um, was it the one recently? I don't know. I'll have to make another one of those because there is a lot more to chord progressions. And then obviously, I do have to say this on my website. There's already a lot of videos on that as part of the music theory courses. So I have like 3 levels finished. I kind of worked on level 4 there for a while. I need to pick it back up, but right now I'm finishing playing the piano level 5, and then I'm doing this rock course, and then I have to fit in music theory and ear training. There's so many things to do. But yeah, thank you, Rich. Yeah, recent one. Okay, great. Yeah, I did make one the last month or so, I think. Thank you, JP. I'm really glad. I'm really glad they're helpful. I can tell I am helping some people because I get like a lot more in-depth questions in this than a lot of the comments on YouTube. Obviously because we can discuss back and forth. So I'm still bothered by my position on this camera. I will fix that later. I know it's very minor because you can probably at least hear me without all the echo, but it just bothers me. Which I guess is why I make good videos, because things bother me. Okay, great question. Oh, 2 questions. I have no idea what Amiga Pro Tracker is. I know what an old school Amiga computer is that played video games, but I don't know. I doubt they're related. But it might be made by Amiga. I have no clue. Trackers. I don't know anything about that. If you want to send me a link or something, I would love to check that out. Okay, great question by Rich. Let's see. Is there a standard technique one should have when playing, or is everybody a little different? The answer is, it's going to sound a little wishy-washy, but a little bit of both. I mean, there's technique, like we were talking about the staccato technique earlier. That's a very common kind of technique that, high-level teachers will teach as far as, the elbow and, where all the sound comes from there. A lot of early piano lessons, you won't have that kind of instruction in. But yeah, that's more of a universal thing. Now, there's different types of techniques. I don't know the names of all of them, but I know there's one called the Alexander technique, and not everybody uses this. I don't even know really 100% what this is about, but from what I understand, the Alexander technique is all about how you position your body around the piano, and I'm sure some of it has to do with what we talked about today, the elbow and stuff. And it's all really how to get the best sound out of the piano, how to have the best posture. The correct posture for, exactly where you're playing. Because as you know, some pianists lean in and out a lot. Some of that has to do with that technique, and some of that is their own personal technique that they find helps them. So the answer is both. Like, there's definitely standard techniques, and then there's different schools of technique. Like, there's the Suzuki method. That's more of like a teaching method. But just like teaching methods, there's different techniques as well, and different schools of thought, as they say. But for the most part, there is a standard, like reading notes. Not everybody reads notes, but reading notes is a standard that a lot of musicians use. Reading music is hard. I agree. It certainly can be. If you check out my first, actually, if you go to musictheory.net and you go to the note trainer, I've shared it on the channel before. You can practice your note reading there. The key is doing it a little bit every day, so don't go like weeks at a time or days at a time. without practicing it, or practicing it, only one day a week at 3 hours. What you want to do is you're better off practicing 20 minutes a day for a week rather than practicing all at once. Sorry, my allergies are killing me for some reason right now. Yeah, so stick with it. As I always tell everybody online in the channel, I always want to promote, how do I say it? The willingness to not give up. So I always promote not giving up as opposed to giving up. I promote tenacity, I guess you could say, with all my students. So that's probably one of the areas I do shine as a teacher, is that, like, one thing is, it's all about giving up. Like, you can either give up and you'll definitely fail, or you can just keep trying and you'll probably eventually be successful in your own way. We talked about this during one of the other streams as well. So never give up. If you find music is reading hard, what does that mean? That means that you have to do it more often and you'll get better at it. Okay, Shesk says, okay, great. I'm glad that video could help you where middle C is together. Yep, they are very close. So, the top ledger line and the bass clef, bottom ledger line and the treble clef, those are the exact same note. Oh, note reading apps are great too. The same kind of thing where it will, like, show you a note and say, what note is this? Show you another note, what note is this? Or say, here's a piano keyboard. Where's that note? So yeah, if Rich has a great recommendation for that. Good, Rich. Yeah, within 2 to 3 months to read up and down to 4 ledger lines. That's really good. A lot of students, when they learn their first few weeks, they're like, oh man, I'm just struggling so much trying to read music. But within 2 to 3 months, it could take 2 to 3 months, which some would consider a long time. But it might, take a little bit longer. So it does take a while, but that is a pretty good amount of time to learn that in. This keeps going off. Okay, let's take Molly's question. Hello, Molly, by the way. Great to have you as part of the stream. I think this is the first time, at least, I've seen your name. You may have been in attendance before. Great question. Let's do some bass clef. One of my younger students went crazy on that one. That was like his last lesson for a while. That's why he's crazy. All right, so bass clef. You can learn to read music like a couple of different ways. One is like finding some anchor points, knowing what the bottom one and the top one is, and then counting up and down from there. I like to memorize, especially in the beginning, what the lines and spaces are from the bottom to the top. And you've probably seen videos of me talk about this before, or maybe not. Or you've probably heard the sayings like good boys deserve fudge always, or deserve fries always, whatever lines up for that. So that's what I would do for those. I would just memorize those. And then I would memorize the spaces, which is, as you may know, A, C, E, and G. Or all cows eat grass. So good, boys deserve fudge always, and all cows eat grass. And then what you want to do is you want to find one of those music reading apps that Rich was talking about. If you search on the iStore, is that what they call it? I don't know. I have an iPad. I barely use it. Whatever the Apple Store, maybe. Go there if you have an iPad or an iPhone and look up a note trainer or note reader, and that should come with it. And if you have Android, you can do the same thing. Or if you have PC, you can go to the Windows Store and then search it up that way. Or if you don't have any of that stuff, you can go to musictheory.net, and then there's something called the Note Trainer there. You can go and click up in the settings, and then you can change it from there. I also Thank you, JP. I totally understand you not being able to attend the whole thing. Great to have you, by the way. And then, like I said, some of the live streams in the future, we will be like teaching more of a lesson kind of thing. But great to have you, and thanks for coming. Next one will be Sunday at 8 p.m., and then the one after that will be next Friday at 8 p.m., in case anybody's wondering. So let me find this. Let's see. Come on. Okay, so if you go to musictheory.net/lessons or click on the lessons tab, let's see where it is. I think it's just under the staff, clefs, and ledger lines. Oh, no. Back. Sorry, it's exercises, not lessons, but exercises. There's also mini lessons here. Not quite as in-depth as, the videos, but check those out as well. And you want to go to, it's note identification, and then you would click up at the top, and you want to click just bass clef, because you're probably good at treble clef already, or at least I would assume that you're probably better at treble clef than bass clef. So start at bass clef. And that's the key to piano, by the way. Always start with what you struggle with the most. Don't start with the easy stuff. Don't start with the stuff you know the best, because that will only make you better at things you're already good at, which can help you, but it's a lot more helpful to work on things you struggle with. So here's the thing, is then you want to go back into here, into the menu, and then you want to go to the range. So obviously in the beginning, you're not going to want a huge range. You want to stay within the staff until you can read the ledger line. So then you want to do like a ton of these every day. I would spend 10 minutes doing this, just the bass clef, every day. So that was a G. Whoa, really loud. You might want to take off sharps if you're not used to those. So everything you need is in this options. By the way, the sharps, people may not know this in flats, it's called accidentals. You want to flip that off. Not the flipping of off that would offend anybody, but you want to switch it off. And then you go back, and then boom, you're back. You got G. And then now they're all just regular notes. They're not like the flats and the sharps, in case you're not used to that yet. And go through these and do, like I said, 5 to 10 minutes a day. I'm willing to bet within a week of doing that, you'll be way better at just the bass clef. So, like I said, the big thing to tie this all together, start with what you're the worst at as far as a piano player or a musician, because that will help strengthen your core as a musician, and you'll be a lot better of a musician because of it. Okay, Arvin recommends note down. Rich says look up music note sight reader training on the App Store in all caps. He must be yelling. I'm just kidding. Let's see. Great suggestion. You're very welcome, Molly. I'm really glad that explanation did help you, and obviously I have a lot more videos around the channel talking about this. I even made a few videos within the last few weeks. They were part of a live stream too. I'm going to do more of these of like note trainer videos that I did where we do talk more and more about this. But if you use this site, like I said, in the tips I gave you, you will be a lot better at it in no time. Okay, how to read advanced piano sheets. So like just advanced songs like maybe Mozart sonatas. Why do I keep saying that? Beethoven sonatas. Well, there are Mozart ones as well. So it's not like it's wrong for me to say that, but I always mean one thing. Maybe Chopin. Somebody did say Chopin. Manny said Chopin earlier. I forgot to write that down, but I do. I will do that one. I actually do have that part of my academy as well, where I do talk a little bit about Chopin as part of my course, playing the piano level 4. So if you really want to take things to the next level, some of you have heard me talk about this a billion times already, but that's okay. Lessonsontheweb.com, where I have a lot of the more in-depth videos. They're all organized into courses and things like that. And that's where the really good stuff is, but I do intend to offer a free education here on the YouTube channel as well. So like I said, it's always great to get the feedback. And anybody is certainly welcome. Let me read some more comments. That's a great question, Rich. Yes. Codas and the like. Let's see. Okay, great. I got it down. I'm going to go blow my nose because of the allergies. I'll be back in like a second or a few seconds. Okay, back again, and it's now 8:55. Man, does time fly. I'm going to call it quits here in a few minutes. Like I said, allergies get me. It's weird because I didn't have allergy problems all day, but of course, because I'm trying to teach a ton of people, it's giving me problems. But what can you do? Yes, poor me. That's all right. Like I said, it's great to have everybody here again now that we're in our last few minutes here. Yeah, you know, as many of these as you want to show up to, you're always welcome, no matter who you are. Well, I guess, you know, if you're a really terrible person to me, then you're not welcome. But everybody here is great, and you're always welcome to come back to any live stream. And of course, for right now, until I come up with a more definitive schedule about the daytime live streams, the evening live streams, at least evening for me, on the East Coast in the United States, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for Friday and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for Sunday. Go to lessonsontheweb.com/community to find the official live stream schedule because not every Friday and not every Sunday I have them, but at least for the next few weeks I think I do. I think one Friday and one Sunday I take off a month because, hey, you know, even I need a day off every once in a while. Okay, lots of comments. Play us out. I'll improvise something for you. The reason I don't want to play something, you know, I could play For Elise, even though I made a video on that, or something like that, is, well, two reasons. I can't play a popular song for you, and even, believe it or not, some of the classical songs are copyright, so if I, like, put them up and a company owns the rights to those, they'll take the video down, or at least they'll flag the video or something like that. They'll just give me a hard time about it. So I'm just gonna improvise, make things easy so I can avoid all that. And thank you, Edwin the Kid, 23. Is it 23? Yep. Thank you for stopping by. This is the first time I think I've seen you around. You may have attended before. Thanks for coming by, and feel free to come back anytime. Great to have you, and I would love to see you back in the stream again. I will improvise. Thanks for saying they're awesome, Molly. Great to have you as well. Like I said earlier, I think this is one of your first ones, so I'd love to see you back. But that's totally up to you. But if you could just stick around the channel and learn as much as you can, then I think that would be wonderful. Okay, let's see what else we got. What are my hobbies? I'm going to improvise in a second. What are my hobbies other than teaching piano? So here's the thing. Right now, not many, but I will actually tell you because it will actually give you like a little insight into me as a person. Obviously, not obviously, like you probably wouldn't know this. I really like when the weather's out nice, and I think almost everybody does this. I like taking walks outside just kind of like randomly thinking about what I'm going to do, either, that day, or just not thinking about anything at all. Just relaxing and maybe just clearing out my mind a bit, maybe a little bit of meditation kind of thing going on. But that's not really a hobby. That's really just something I enjoy. What other things do I enjoy first? I like tacos. Tacos are my favorite food. So if you ever wanted to know that, my favorite color is a tie between blue and green. And awesome, Molly. I'm really glad. I'm really glad to hear that. Oh, and then my hobbies, which I will get to. I really like video games. So when I was a kid, it's all thanks to video games that I'm here talking to you right now. At least I think so. I mean, it's hard to prove because almost anything could have happened in my life. But video games are the reason I got into music professionally, because they were the reason I took piano lessons. Because at first, what I did was, when I was like 6 years old, I think we got, before that we had the NES, the old school Nintendo. We had like Duck Hunt and Super Mario. They were obviously on the same card, if you know all the stuff, and things like Excite Bike and things like that. And then I got a Sega Genesis when I was 6. And I played it so much that my dad was like furious. Actually, we all did, like me and my siblings. I have a brother and sister too. A little more insight into me. And he was just furious, and he had read some sort of article somewhere that like music lessons were like the number one thing that kids were forced to do, children were forced to do, and they never really regretted or resented. And in fact, they always looked back on it fondly. So he kind of took that to heart, and he gave us all music lessons. And I think all of us look back on it fondly, but especially me, because I have a career out of it, and I get to teach awesome people around the world. What's better than that? So video games is the big one. Right now in my life, teaching is a huge thing because I'm trying to make it in this world. I'm trying to save up and buy a house. All the things I need as a person. Obviously, I'm investing a lot in the business right now with equipment and things. So, and that's obviously a time investment as well. But yeah, that's like a really huge part of my life, and family, of course. I mean, I love spending time with my family. And yeah, going from there. So, pretty normal stuff. But yeah, I'd say video games other than playing music. Something even today I still love to do. I don't have time for it like I did. I really want to get this virtual reality stuff that's coming out because that stuff looks awesome. But I don't think I'd have a lot of time to play around with it. But I think it would be pretty neat. Okay, Edwin, the kid, says, I'm new and really like your videos, and I'll keep watching your videos. Thank you, Edwin. And like I said, anytime you want to come back to the stream, or even anytime you want to ask me a question, in the comments, feel free. Rich, what's funny is I know exactly what you're talking about. Was it Batman Returns? Yeah, on Sega CD. I think that was the Batman where it was mostly a side scroller, but then they had like some sections where you're like in the car, and they had like I don't know, it's Mode 7 on Super Nintendo. I don't know what it is on Sega Genesis, but yeah, that one had a lot of Sega CD, sorry, has a lot of awesome music. And Molly says, I used to take piano lessons. And then she said I was a bad student. Ooh, you know what I don't like is when teachers do not promote tenacity, like I talked about earlier. When teachers really like tell students to give up, or they're a bad student or whatever, I do not like that at all. That's one of my pet peeves. Actually, I get actually kind of mad hearing stories like this, because that's the last thing a teacher should be doing, is telling you that you're a bad student. Now, they can be frustrated with you, sure. Maybe, you just kind of mismatch as a teacher and a student. Doesn't mean you're any less of a student or they're any less of a teacher. But yeah, it really just bothers me when teachers tell people to either give up or that they're no good. And then you're very welcome, Molly. I'm really glad these videos could help you learn. And I hope you get like the most you absolutely can out of it. And if you ever have any questions as well, let me know in the comments, and I'd love to see your name pop up again and again. Oh, very nice. She bought you a synthesizer. Oh, you think you're getting better, Molly? I'm really glad to hear that. Sorry, I'm kind of jumping around all these questions. You secretly took piano lessons. This is Shesk. And father got really mad. You know, I've heard that too, where their parents like do not want them to do it, and they want to learn, which is interesting, you know. But you know, parents want everything, or different things. Your wife bought you a synthesizer. That's so cool. Um, yeah, that person at your job is full of it. You know, I hear, I even see some posts on Reddit, things like that. People saying, I'm so, seriously, I've seen posts, I'm 12 years old or I'm 18 years old. Although, to be fair, I think I don't think Manny did say this. Somebody else I knew, and now, don't get me wrong, if you're in this boat and you said this, that's totally fine. But I did have 12-year-olds and 18-year-olds tell me that, you know, oh, I'm 12 or 18. Am I too old to learn music? And it's like, no, you're the perfect age. Like, first of all, you can begin learning piano at any age, and I'm not just saying that because I teach piano. I'm saying that because you really can. Like, if you're 60 years old, you can, like, I've taught 60-year-olds from scratch piano, and they learn fine. Like, it's not like it's just impossible. Yeah, certain things they struggle with a little bit more. Maybe like motor skills, or it may take a little bit longer to learn. But, you know, they certainly have the capacity to learn. So a 12-year-old or a 17-year-old, if you don't know, your brain is very malleable until you're like 24-ish, and then it kind of stops. That basically means you're able to learn a lot, and your brain is really flexible. So yeah, if you are... No, Manny, 17-year-old to want to major in music. No, I was 17 when I decided to major in music. My piano teacher almost flipped out because we had to get ready for the audition. So long as you're willing to get ready for the audition, I would give yourself anywhere from 6 months to a year to get ready for an audition, and work with a teacher or somewhere around you. At least meet with them like every couple of months or every couple of weeks to get some feedback on your playing, and make sure you're ready to meet those requirements. So every school is different. You got to get the requirements first, and then you got to work on it a solid 6 months to a year. But you could start this at 17, you could start this at 18, you could start at 19, you could start at 26, 42, whatever. If you ever wanted to go back for music, you could certainly do it. So it's definitely not too late. Yeah, Molly. So if you're a bit younger, that's a perfect age. You know, especially like real young. Like I was 6 when I started, but that was because my parents forced me. But you're anywhere from like, you know, and then some kids will learn when they're like 3 or 4. So if you're anywhere from like 4 to 18, I would say that's like prime time. Now, don't get me wrong. If you're older than that, like if you're like me, I'm like in my late 20s. I can learn piano very easily. At least I think I could. I know it already, so it's hard to say. But anybody my age could probably learn pretty easily. In fact, I'm teaching a guy my age right now, and he's doing really, really well. He didn't have a whole lot of experience before, so that's working out. So I'm going to call it quits here, everybody. I think I got almost to everybody because the allergies are killing me. So here we go. I'm going to improvise the blues again. I know I played this a few weeks ago, but why not? I'm going to do it again. It's going to be a little different. Okay, it's going to be a little different before because it's improv. we go. So that's all I had. That's all the energy I have left for today, since it's the end of the day for me. So I hope you enjoyed it. Looks like some of you did. Oh, damn, Tim's awesome. Oh my God, it's blues. Manny says, of course, nice. Blues! Exclamation point. Clap hands. And that, and then OMG all over the place. So, obviously there's a lot more I can teach everybody, so if you want to be as good as me, keep coming to these live streams and watching the videos on the channel. Of course, you don't have to, but, I think everybody here loves learning music, so I want to promote that as much as possible. If you love learning music, then keep doing it, and don't let anybody else tell you that you're not good enough. That's probably one of the biggest things I can tell you. And then the other thing, one of the great things we talked about today, we talked about a lot of things, but the one thing I wanted you to take away from this as well is, as a musician, when you're practicing, start from the things that you're the worst at. And anything in life, actually, if you're really bad at something, it just means you got to do it more. So don't let anybody tell you you're not good enough, and just keep going at it. So I hope everybody enjoyed. Love having you come by. And have a great week. Actually, I'll see you again on Sunday. It might be a little bit shorter of a stream, but I will teach something throughout that. But thank you so much for your input, and thank you for stopping by. So this has been Tim from You Know What, Lessons on the Web, and have a great night. Thank you. "10 out of 10. What a piece to end with. Wow, you're amazing. Thank you. I'm so awesome. Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome, Shesk. If I forget again, you may have to remind me one more time, but usually third time is the charm, and I'll remember. Have a great night. Thank you. Yes, you too. Yes, you too. Yeah, Edwin, I can't wait for you to learn from me. I can't wait to see, hopefully you stop by and let me know your progress. I'd love to hear from you. So I'm going to end it here. You have a great night all as well. Thank you.